Hey, what's happening? Just taking another stroll. Got a new piece of equipment that I'm trying to learn how to use, and well, it's rather distracting, but we'll make the best of it. I am wearing red today. It's Friday, and if you don't know about it, red is remember everyone deployed. So let's remember everyone deployed, put on our red on Fridays. Got something I want to run past you. I want you to think about this, and not intellectually, but with your heart. Is God fair? Is God fair? And don't think about this in an academic way, because if you can't convince your inner heart, if you can't convince the child within you, then it doesn't matter. Because your mind can think whatever, but your heart's just going to keep going and plodding right on ahead, doing the same old way it's always been. So is God fair? And I'd ask this of the guys in the jail and the prison, and I'd ask them about situations in their own lives. You know, I would bring up mine to kind of prime the pump. I'd say, well, you know, I was raised in group homes. I didn't get to be raised by my own family. Another guy would bring up, he'd say, you know, my baby girl, my daughter, little infant, died in a car wreck, and I survived. And he really didn't think that was fair. He didn't know why she should be taken and he shouldn't. This is a very old question. And I mean, we could go right back to Adam and Eve on this one. I know what the Bible says, okay? But how do you think Eve felt when Adam didn't provide any backbone? He didn't lead the family. I'm sure in her mind she's got to be thinking, there's this man that you gave me, God, that didn't lead the family like he should. And here he is, just putting her up like a guinea pig. Watching with his arms crossed, seeing what's going to happen, because he knows God has said, you'll surely die if you eat this fruit, right? And in Adam's mind, well, hey man, you know, I got plenty more ribs. Let's see where this goes. And then Adam has got to be thinking, hey, you gave me this woman who's just going to lead me into temptation wherever, whenever, right? How about Job? Yeah, how about that one? If we want to talk about unfair, he's a man that, as best as he knows, he's following God, doing his absolute best. And it wasn't good enough, was it? Never really is. And here you've got the leader of all tempters, the prosecuting attorney, the great accuser. And God says, hey, why don't you check this dude out? So he does. And he loses his family. He loses all his possessions, all that life holds dear. And he's asking God, why? Why'd you do that? And how does God answer that? He said, where were you when I created all this mess? Where were you? And who are you to question me? So is that fair? And again, I'm not talking about your intellectual mind, because we know how the story ends. But in your heart of hearts, your inner child, is that fair? Well, let me ask you something else. Is it fair that God had to give up his only son for something he didn't even do? Is that fair? Hanging on a cross, the worst possible punishment. Is that fair? He paid because of something I did? How fair is that? Well, when you have that as the backdrop, I'm glad that he's not fair. I don't want God to be fair. He's just, and he's forgiving. But he's certainly not fair. He loved us and paid for us so that we could be with him. Just something to think about. You guys be blessed.